Hey everyone, welcome to 5 More Minutes, the show where two friends relive their childhoods or, in some cases, learn about everything they missed out on. I'm Kendra.
And I'm Scott.
All right, so the other day I watched a movie with your mom, right?
Right.
And we watched Peggy Sue Got Married.
She finally made you watch that, huh?
Yeah, have you seen it?
Nope.
So I didn't ask her a lot of questions while we were watching it, but I left and I was like, I've got questions. Do you know the premise of the movie?
No.
Okay.
Well, wait. If you explain it, it might ring a bell.
Okay. Well, also, first of all, she was trying to buy it on Amazon and none of the payments would go through. So I saw that it was on YouTube and I was like, just buy it on Keena's YouTube. And she was like, I'm glad you're here because I would have given up by now. Okay. So this movie takes place in 1986 or 85 or whatever, the same year it came out. And it's a 25-year high school reunion. So these people graduated in 1960. And so it's the typical, they name reunion king and reunion queen. Yeah. And the king is the super nerdy guy who becomes famous and a millionaire and invents a lot of stuff. And then Peggy Sue is the queen. And she's getting divorced kind of from her high school sweetheart, Charlie, who is played by good old Nick Cage. And since the last movie I watched twice with him in it is one where he has no lines, I was reminded of how he talks. And it also has a very young Jim Carrey in it.
Oh,
yeah, he seems way less Jim Carrey-like. Still
he
a little funny,
grown
but
into
yeah.
Jim Carrey,
and the main lady is someone famous too. I just can't remember what her name is, but so I don't know if it's social anxiety of being on the stage or something, but she passes out and she wakes up in
the 25 year.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she wakes up in 1960, her senior year of high school. But she has all the knowledge of the future, and so she's really confused. And I don't know how much time passes, maybe a week or something. She wakes up and she's just fainted at a blood drive. And Charlie is his dad wants him to go into the family business, but he wants to be a musician. He sings a cappella. Mm-hmm. But she learns all this stuff she didn't know about him. And then he's no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be who you want me to be because I want to be that guy too or whatever. So then he decides by the end that he's not going to be a singer. But she also has a one-night stand with this guy who's a writer named Michael, which is just 2 days before she sleeps with Charlie for the first time, which is when she got pregnant. So It's all weird. It's kind of confusing. And I don't understand if she manifested all those things by going back in time or I don't understand. That's the part I don't know. Did she change things? Because the super smart guy, Richard or whatever, she gives him all this stuff that's going to be invented, microchips or something. Not microchips, maybe. I don't remember. But she lifts us all this stuff and he's taking notes. And then he ends up inventing some of those things. And she tells him that she's from the future. And when she tells him things that no one else would know about him because he's famous in the future, he's oh, you're right. And at one point he's oh, well, if you die here, you'll go back. So she's standing in the middle of the road and almost gets hit by a bus, but then decides she doesn't want to die.
Oh.
Yeah. But then she goes to her grandparents and she tells them and they believe her. And her grandpa is in the Elks or the Masons or something. And he's oh, I can help you get back. So he takes her with him and they're doing some weird ritual that's supposed to time travel her back to the future because apparently that's what they believe or something. And then Charlie kidnaps her. And so they all think that she actually went back in time or went forward in time. But then it just ends with them getting it on in a greenhouse. And then she wakes up in the real world. So them.
So she comes back again.
Yeah. And he's in the hospital with her and he looks like crap because he hasn't left. And then she invites him over to dinner at his house to see his family. And that's how it ends. And I felt I had more questions because I was did she manifest those things? Or was it just was it the type of time travel where you change stuff because you went back in time? Or was it just like a really intense dream? Or like, you know, I was just like, I need to know like the inner workings of this movie.
Yeah, I don't know, or was it all just a dream?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you interpret that? You know,
I don't know.
I need answers.
Maybe it leaves it up to you. You have to make your own answers.
Yeah, but you know how I am. I like to know what the people wanted.
You really got to spell it out.
Yeah.
Give me the answer.
I almost like texted her and was like, so was that all supposed to be real?
Start diving down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, but since it was almost 9, I figured she could have already like fallen asleep by then, so I didn't.
Probably true.
But yeah, I was just really confused. I needed to know what like actually happened.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I have not ever seen that. So.
Yeah. You should watch it.
But I do remember her saying that Nick Cage was in it.
Yeah. He's just so weird. And he talks so weird. It's almost like Donald Trump combined with Bill Clinton or something.
I could kind of see that, I guess, just the way he like pauses and enunciates some things. And
then his weird body movements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's eccentric, you know?
Yeah, he's something. But yeah, anyways, you should watch it.
Okay. Well, there's a mini movie review for you right there. Kendra says you should watch it.
It's on point, you know? So
I guess.
I mean, we're keeping with the theme, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
We're wearing our Sunday best because this is New Year's Eve, and I don't have a suit or a blazer, so I'm wearing a cardigan and a sweater. And I had on a hoodie and a beanie, but then I saw how nice Scott was dressed, and I scurried away to go change.
Yeah. Happy New Year. Thought we'd dress up a little bit, or at least I thought I would, because we did for the Christmas episode.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd have a beer because Happy New Year.
I'm having coffee in my Critical Role mug.
Just wilding out over there is really what we're about.
Oh, yeah. I've had way more caffeine than water, and I donated plasma today, so that's probably not good.
You're probably going to be like passing out or fainting.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm also hydrating.
Me too.
Good job. Look at us.
Yeah.
Responsible caffeine / alcohol drinkers.
Oh, yeah. I had one mixed drink last night on the Discord, and then I didn't have another, so it was kind of pointless. Like, if you're just going to have one drink, you might as well not drink, you know?
Yeah, I guess. Sometimes I like one nice drink if you're just sipping on it.
I made a Crown and Sprite.
Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes and especially if you're just like doing the same thing and sitting on a call for like hours.
Honestly, I probably would have had more, but I didn't want to go downstairs.
That's true. It's a long walk.
Yeah.
I guess that's a deterrent.
Jackie just sent me a message that said, sorry, you have to edit my mess. LMAO. Laughing. 3 laughing emojis.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't checked out last week's episode yet, we had our first guest on, my sister Jackie.
She volunteered.
And she taught us. She volunteered even, and she taught us all about Hunter x Hunter.
She was so excited. She had everything prepared before she even asked us.
She did. And she even hand wrote all of her notes.
Oh, she hand wrote them?
Yeah, she was holding up when she was flipping through the booklet, I was like, oh, she wrote them all down.
Oh. I guess that's probably easier for her with her technology situation.
Yeah. The first couple movie reviews we did for the podcast, I did write everything down, but I got over that pretty quick.
Yeah.
But I thought it was kind of cool to have like handwritten notes that I've got stashed from the first few episodes.
Did you make a slideshow?
No, I didn't make a slideshow. Okay. Yeah, I did make some notes for this one, but I did it on the computer instead of handwriting. Yeah, I guess 1, Happy New Year. 2, we decided to watch and review the movie Doom.
With our buddy, The Rock.
With our buddy, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Karl Urban is also back there over his shoulder. And then that other guy, I believe, is Diobia Opare. I hope. Is that Destroyer or is that Duke?
I think that's Destroyer, but I'm not positive.
That is Diobia Opare. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, buddy, but he was known as Destroyer in the movie.
All right.
Yeah. So, initial thoughts. What did you think about Doom?
I actually liked it, and not for like a dumb reason.
Oh, okay. What was that reason, or do you want to wait to go into that?
I just thought it was good. Like, it was easy to follow. It had action. The music is pretty intense. There were some parts where I was like, but you know, I don't know. I thought it was pretty good.
Okay. Interesting.
Is that not what I'm supposed to think?
Well, that's not the general consensus.
Yeah, well, I seem to like all of the movies that are bad, but this one I don't like for a stupid reason. Like, I don't think this one is so bad it's good.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I actually liked this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go into some background on it first, just to learn a little bit about it. Mm-hmm. So, and before we get into it, shouts out because this is a recommendation from one of our listeners, Merle. Mm-hmm. She told us to watch this, so it was on our list.
But she didn't email in.
She did not email in, but she also said she was not going to do that. And I don't want Ian to think we're neglecting him because I do have Big Trouble in Little China is on our list as well.
But we are putting you off because you moved.
Kendra's giving you the cold shoulder, basically.
Yeah, my shoulders are so...
Yeah, that's why she's got that huge scarf on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was actually really cold during the last episode because I, for some reason, thought that the heater in the wall was going to be too loud, so I turned it off, but I just decided to leave it on because it's like 30 degrees outside, so...
Yeah.
I also had the window open earlier because I thought it smelled bad in here from my printer being on. So,
gotcha. So, yes, Doom was a sci-fi movie that came out in 2005, and it is classified as a science fiction film, obviously, and it is directed by, I'm going to butcher this name because it's a rough one. It's like Andrzej, Andrzej. Not sure how to say last name, Bartkowiak. So I kind of got that one. And the movie is loosely
Andrzej.
Andrzej. I'm sorry if we're saying it wrong.
Bartkowiak.
Bartkowiak. Yeah. It is loosely based on the video game series by the same name of Doom. So we got that going for us.
But there was no guy like who Keaton likes in the movie. Is that a different game?
No, technically there is.
Oh.
So that was technically, I'll go through the actors first here.
All right.
So we've got Karl Urban, who's that guy over the rock shoulder.
Reaper.
Yep. He was known as Reaper in the film. Also, John Grimm was his actual name.
Mm-hmm. Like the Grim Reaper.
Yes. And Karl Urban has been in a lot of things. You'll recognize him from Lord of the Rings, The Chronicles of Riddick.
He's in Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, he's one of the, is he one of the elf generals? Or he might be one of the human generals.
He does look like one of the elf guys or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've seen all the Bourne movies, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and it must be kind of a small part in Bourne. Supremacy is the second one. I think he's just one of the other agents.
And I've seen that Riddick movie was always on, but I've never actually just sat down to watch it. So
yeah, he's also been in Star Trek. He was in Thor Ragnarok as Hela's right hand man.
Why he looked familiar, like the sex slave.
Oh. He was I think he ran into her and she's just like, I'll keep you around, basically. But I don't think there was any inclinations of a sex slave, Kendra. I don't know where.
There might be. You don't know.
Well, maybe he wanted that then.
Yeah.
And most recently, he has been in the Amazon series The Boys.
Oh, I meant to watch that and I never did.
Yeah. Boys is about realistic superheroes with kind of sponsors and kind of a gritty type world. So it's interesting.
Superhero influencers.
Yep. And technically, John Reaper, he is supposed to be the Doom guy of this film. He is kind of the main antagonist, and he's supposed to kind of directly relate to the Doom guy that my brother Keaton likes, that you noted.
But he doesn't look like that.
Well, no one really knows what Doom guy looks like. He's always in armor.
So they just decided to not have him be in armor?
Again, with this loosely based
on
the game. Yeah. I don't agree with all the choices they make, but we'll kind of get into that. So another actress, Rosamund Pike, she plays Dr. Samantha Grimm.
She's a famous lady.
She is a famous lady, even though I went through her credits and she's been in a ton of stuff. But She doesn't really do things that I like.
Yeah, it's like a different type of thing. It's maybe because she's like English.
Yeah, she does a lot of those type of things. The most noted that I put on there that we either know or kind of enjoy is we obviously saw her in I Care a Lot. Kendra hates that movie.
Oh, is she the
That
main
is her.
lady?
Yep.
Oh my god.
I can't believe you didn't notice that.
I was trying to figure out why she looked so familiar from something recently, and I guess that's why.
Yep.
Friggin' that movie pisses me off.
Kendra was not a fan.
Well, that's like the only movie where I've literally predicted like the entire thing, and I think that's why it made me mad.
Yeah, probably. It was pretty impressive too. And then she is also in the upcoming Wheel of Time series. It might be out already. I'm not sure, but
oh yeah, I've seen that. I think it is out because it looked like something that I would like, and I haven't watched it.
I actually read those books back in like middle school, so I am gonna probably watch that.
Oh, it's by that
Wheel
guy.
Of Time.
I never read those.
They're good. They're good books.
Yeah, I've seen it pop up. I don't remember which app it's in, but it's definitely out.
Yeah. So those are the two I noted for her. She's been in tons of stuff. She's super famous, but those were really the only things I thought.
Gone Girl, but I never watched that, so
never seen it either. So going through the rest of the immediate cast, I'm not going to dive into all the ancillary characters, but we had the other guy on the first background Kendra had. Diobia Opari was codenamed Destroyer in this. Oh, you got the whole squad. Nice.
Yeah.
Ben Daniels was Goat, who was kind of that like weird religious guy who self-flagellated when he took the Lord's name in vain and all the good stuff. Richard Brake, he didn't have a code name, or at least if he did, I missed it. Yeah,
it was Portman. Isn't that his code name?
His last name. Well, it's his last name.
Oh,
yeah.
Maybe because it's like a word like that.
Yeah, so he was in it, played kind of a greasy character who's kind of entertaining.
He's very greasy, and he didn't want to get greased. I don't know if that was this guy, but someone kept saying that. Might have been Goat. Greased. Yeah, someone kept saying like, "Oh, we're gonna get greased."
I think just means like killed.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I felt like it was a greasy guy saying it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And he fell in a sewer at one point, so he got pretty greasy.
Oh yeah.
The actor Al Weaver played codename Kid, so he's the young guy. He's probably the kid. He's probably way left in yours as I'm looking at you. Is that him way back there?
Over here?
Yeah, the other side. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, right there. Yeah, you were trying. Yeah, close. Yeah. Well, you get it. He's there.
I'm really little on my screen, so it's hard to do.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We had Dexter Fletcher, who is codenamed Pinky. I don't think he's shown in your picture here.
No, because that wasn't. He's not one of these guys.
Right. He was like the scientist guy when they arrived. Yao Chin plays codename Mac, who's to the left of Karl Urban.
This is hard because it's opposite. It's like opposite. There you go.
Yeah.
Scratch.
So it would be my looking at Kendra to the right of Karl Urban, but if you're facing the same way, you get it.
And it's my left.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then obviously the man who needs no introduction, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, played Asher Mahonen, aka Sarge.
Oh yeah.
So he was the lead boss of this military squad. Marines. Semper Fi, as he liked to yell. Yeah.
He had it tattooed on his back.
He did. And he liked to drop, it was a note we made. He dropped a lot of F-bombs in that movie.
I don't think I noticed.
Oh, man. There was one point where me and Cheyenne looked at each other and Cheyenne's like, did they just try to make him say that as much as they could?
There is an unrated version, too. I wonder what's different in that one.
Oh, yeah. Probably.
Because that was the one I found on Amazon first. And then I was like, wait.
Okay.
Even though I could have just watched it for free on HBO.
Yeah, on something you already had.
Well, because I was on IMDb or something, and it was like available on Amazon Prime or something. I searched took me to Amazon Prime, so I just went with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, the more you know. So I dug up a few fun facts for this one. I guess Arnold Schwarzenegger was originally considered for The Rock's role in this.
Oh, and The Rock got offered the main role.
Yes. And even before that, apparently Vin Diesel was offered his role and Vin Diesel turned it down.
Well, they're pretty much the same person, so.
Yeah, so they landed on The Rock, and like Kendra mentioned, he was offered Karl Urban's spot as John Grimm, but he decided he wanted to play Sarge because he wanted it to be kind of darker and edgier past type character.
He thought it was more interesting. I don't know where I saw all of that because all I did was research where to watch the movie. It probably popped up on IMDb if it was one of the things popping up. Yeah, maybe. I get on IMDb a lot too.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna take a break. What's the guy who plays Drax?
Dave Bautista.
Okay, so even though The Rock looks the same, I don't have the same feeling. Like, he looks the same in all the movies he's in, like Fast and Furious. He looks the same as he looks in this movie. But I don't have that same bigger. It's annoying that you're the same person. I don't know. It must just be Dave Bautista.
You just don't like his face.
I think he just looks like Drax.
You gotta understand, Drax was not a character that was portrayed live action before Dave Bautista.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, maybe we'll get to the root of this someday. I think every episode we get a little closer.
Rob Pattinson looks like Edward in everything, you know? It's a little less pasty.
He doesn't look like Edward and everything. He looks like Rob Pattinson.
I'm just kidding. And then I sent you that funny thing last weekend, like making fun of myself, and you didn't even respond.
Which thing?
I sent you that. Was that with The Rock? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think we talked about it though. I don't think because I think we were on a Call of Duty chat or something.
It was funny. I was like, ha 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 ha. But I don't feel the same rage, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I think you have some kind of misplaced rage against Dave Bautista. Maybe, I don't know what it is.
Maybe I had like a bad dream or something and I just don't know.
Yeah, something. Because I could make you also mad and I would tell you to go look at pictures of him from The Man with the Iron Fist.
Dave Bautista is the monster under my bed.
Wow. Maybe not a bad problem to have, depending on your outlook.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know? Who knows?
Yeah. All right, Drax, you want to come play?
Oh, wow. Really throwing it out there. You want to come play? Wink.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Another fun fact I found was apparently the members of the RRTS squad.
Mm-hmm. The hold on. Something recovery, something. Recovery, something.
I don't think so.
I thought one of the R's was recovery.
I don't think it is. I'll look at that but I noted rapid response tactical squad.
You're right. But they are the response team. That was a line.
Yeah.
Or no,
they are the reinforcements.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
So the members of RRTS actually in real life underwent 2 weeks of military training under military advisor Tom McAdams. So that's a fun fact.
Is that a famous guy?
He's just a military coordinator. Nothing real famous about it. But they got real world experience before they went in for this movie. And then, yes, I did have noted RRTS, aka Rapid Response Tactical Squad. Mm-hmm. So they are basically elite corps of Marine soldiers in this squad that deal with threats.
Rapidly,
as quickly as possible, some might say. And in the beginning of the movie, they get a weird call. They're all about to go on vacation. They're looking forward to it. And then The Rock gets this call. Hey, we need you.
Yeah. Portman's like so prepared.
Stuff's going down. Yeah. Portman was like, what the heck did he say? He was going to go chill with some lady boys.
Yeah. That's not exactly the right she-man or something.
Yeah. I think. There you go.
And can I just say that, I made an instant connection between you and him.
Why?
Because so I don't know if you noticed, but he's like walking up the stairs and Sarge gives him like a look and he has on like white shoes and he like rolls his eyes and sighs. And I was like, Scott used to wear white shoes kind of like that.
Okay, so only style wise, not personality wise. Okay, yeah, don't tie me to that. He's like the biggest. I should have led
with that.
Yeah.
He's you if you went down a different life path.
Okay, maybe if I got into a little bit of drugs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drugs and she-men.
I guess I can accept that. I'm still a little.
Yeah, that was I specifically sought out this photo.
You knew.
Yeah.
You had to find it.
I was going to talk about that, about the correlation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I was just going to give a quick plot summary, and then we can kind of get into specifics. So we've already been through who's all on this squad, but The Rock is the leader. Yeah. In this world, it is set in the year 2026.
Mm-hmm. A near distant future.
Not far from now. Who knows what's going to happen? And in this world, a portal was discovered under the Nevada desert that can transport them to Mars. So there are a group of scientists on Mars researching, doing all of these weird kind of experiments, finding bones, yada, yada. And things go down on the base. Something is running through there, killing people. It's a big problem.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why the Rock and Squad are called. So they have to go answer and go back to Mars and deal with this threat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun. Along the way, we learned that John Grimm, his sister, is a scientist there.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently back in the day, their parents died at this research facility.
And they they were like the people who they started it kind of.
Oh, like the founders.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So it brings up some bad memories for him. The Rock specifically is like, hey, take leave, don't come. But he's like, I'm coming anyway. And so they do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they get to the UAC site. What did UAC stand for? That's a good question.
United.
Oh, here it is. Union Aerospace Corporation. United. Yeah, something. And they're greeted by this last guy I mentioned. Pinky is like the scientist that greets them. And
who has only an upper torso.
He only has an upper torso. He's in a wheelchair on like a set of wheels. That'll kind of come into play later if you noticed. Okay.
I don't know that I noticed that.
Well, you'll probably remember when I mentioned it. So they meet up with John Grimm's sister. They need to go retrieve this data and kind of bring this chaos to an end. They don't know what's happening. No one really knows. So they're kind of the first line. And they go out there and then they start finding all this blood, all this gore. They find one scientist who's still alive, Dr. Carver.
Carmick.
And Carmick, thank you. And he is in a sad and sorry state when they find him.
He's like,
yeah, he's not making any sense. He's babbling gibberish.
He's clutching a disembodied arm.
Exactly. He has this hand in his grasp.
Also,
from another
can
scientist.
I just add? I started watching this while I was donating plasma, and blood doesn't bother me, but I was like, when her arm gets stuck in that door, I was like, oh, this is too much blood for me having blood coming in and out of my body right now.
Yeah. So the opening scene shows Dr. Carmack running and closing like a security door, and this scientist reaches through to try to get him to stop, and it cuts her arm off. Mm-hmm. So that's the arm he was holding on to. And then he promptly, when the Marines find him, rips his own ear off out of like
he Van Goghs it.
He Van Goghs it crazy. And they kind of capture him and they bring him back to the medical
and
beta.
He was saying some words at some point, wasn't he? Like giving them a warning, kind of like turn it off, or he's loose.
He shut it down, I think he said. Mm-hmm. So kind of foreboding language. He was kind of still there in his head, but he was in bad shape. And then after they start kind of healing him and testing him, they find this weird material in his blood, some foreign bodies, and it's revealed that all of the specimens that they found on Mars through Samantha Grimm have extra chromosomes. So
24.
Effectively, it effectively allows them to be super.
We have 23.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out, movie 23. The number 23, you get it. So they're trying to figure out how to synthesize this last chromosome to cure cancer, cure our diseases. They don't have this type of problem that they're observing from these super people.
Yeah.
So that's what their goal is. But along the way, they find Dr. Carmack starts mutating and attacking back at all these people. Along the way, the squad keeps finding dead scientists that are either like mutated and zombified and hostile, trying to kill them, or they're just totally warped into another creature that doesn't even resemble a human anymore. So things are not looking good for the staff that were up there. More and more people are dying. And once people mutate into these crazy creatures, they get crazy and just try to kill everyone else. So it's almost, I mean, it felt more like a zombie thing than anything else at the beginning, because they were just a whole bunch of normal people. But as it goes on, yeah, they do kind of mutate into weirder things. So that was one thing. As they go along, it's revealed that Sarge, the Rock, he is maybe not the morally best person to be dealing with this situation, because once he finds out that these things are not only killing people, but they are trying to infect others to turn them, he is concerned that pretty much every human on this base is infected. And his first instinct is to clear everyone and kill all the civilians, which causes a lot of problems with his team because they're not about that. And obviously along the way, the other team members, Destroyer, Goat, who was the other guy? Duke. They are all running into bad times. They are getting attacked by these things, barely making it out alive. Goat is killed. They bring his body back. It mutates as well and kills itself, trying to get like to Duke and Dr. Samantha. So things are looking really bad up here. They have no idea what was going on. And things are just looking worse by the minute, fortunately.
Yeah.
So what next? I'm kind of like really simplifying this, but actually the like plot synopsis on a lot of these websites is very small as well. So Mac, Destroyer, Portman, they all die in this process of trying to contain the facility. It is revealed that Dr. Samantha finds this information and they look at it, and it turns out some of the scientists up here were experimenting on humans. Wow.
And the Rocket's all pissy at her, and she didn't know.
Yeah, she didn't know. She was under the impression they were just doing normal experiments. They did have a whole bunch of dogs up there.
And so other animals, monkeys, and... So
I'm pretty sure they were experimenting on animals, but she didn't know about the human testing.
Yeah. Also, another important plot element is that they haven't spoken in like 10 years, her and Reaper. Yeah. And Sarge tells him like to take his leave or whatever, but he comes at the last second.
Yeah, he decides to still come up there
because he's like mad that she followed in the family's footsteps when their parents died, and she's mad that he didn't or something stupid.
Yeah, they have a very kind of angsty back and forth. Like, wouldn't you rather look through a microscope? Scope
and they don't really say it's his sister at first, so I also definitely thought it was like an ex-wife or something.
They say it pretty quick.
Yeah, but in that initial like 2 minutes of like when whichever guy is like, oh, like whatever, you leave this lady Duke up here, and he's like, she's my sister.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I was following along with that guy too, so I see.
Yeah, I think they did that on purpose. It didn't take too long to clear it up though, but it makes sense. So yeah, we've made it to the point where a whole bunch of people are dead. It's really just the Rock is left, Kid is left, the Kid is left, and Reaper, Karl Urban are left. I think Duke or Destroyer. Duke was the last one alive with them too. But then they start finding humans as the Rock is telling them to clear the site, and the Kid comes back and says, "Hey, I'm not going to kill all these people. They don't appear to be infected. They aren't acting any different." And the Rock kills him.
Yeah, he just shoots him.
He just shoots him in the head.
It was his first mission. Exactly. And he popped some pills too.
Yeah, old Greaseball Portman gave him some pills to take the edge off of a stressful situation, so he was a little high as well. Yeah, so at this point, there's only 3 of them left, and now that everyone's looking at the Rock, like, dude, what is going on?
Yeah, he's being really angry.
Oh man, he's being so angry. And Dr. Samantha even found that some people, when they get attacked and infected by these things, they actually turn into these superhumans instead of mutating.
Mm-hmm.
So
it feeds on some sort of psychotic thing. So if you're not like mentally strong enough or something, I don't know, really, I didn't really clearly understand that part, but
yeah, she said it was like some kind of unknown psychological trait.
It latches on to something and can turn you into one of those creatures.
Yeah. So, but it stands to reason that they're not all infected, but the Rock doesn't care. He wants to kill all the humans and just basically blow this whole site. So then at this point,
and they're on like Mars, right?
They are on Mars, yes.
And the teleportation and stuff was weird.
Yeah, so the teleport was under the desert in Nevada to Mars. That is like the portal. For some reason, they don't really say why. They just say it was kind of found, and they started using it for research. So then at this point, they're fighting off all these like zombified people that are trying to kill them. The Rock gets dragged away by this horde of them. And then Duke is the final guy to die besides Reaper. So it's really just Reaper and his sister left. And he ends up he shoots himself effectively because he tries to shoot through this particle barrier in the site and it bounces off him and it hits him. So kind of a dumb way to go. But she brings this C24 serum that is being used to infect all these people. And she's like, basically, this is your only shot. I can inject you with this. And if it works, you'll get this superhuman healing and strength and pretty much all the good stuff that the 24th chromosome will give you, or you die, but you're going to die anyway.
But she believed that she knew him and that it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, she knew that, he was stable enough. He hadn't done enough bad in his life to be like psychotic. And she believed that he would pull through it. So she gives it to him. He passes out. And then when he wakes up, we're in first person mode, baby.
Yeah, that was like very video game like. And like the music that was playing. And like it literally looked like when you're running around that you can see the barrel of your gun.
Yeah. So they did that very purposely to be like the game. Exactly like it. So we have this whole first person scene through John Grimm's eyes. He's killing all these monsters, going crazy. And the last little fight he runs into is Pinky, that little pink monster. Do you remember that?
Oh, I think so. Was that the one that was like on all fours?
Yes. And its back legs were wheels.
Oh, I don't think I noticed that. I was watching it on my phone and I was making my coffee. So I might have missed a little bit of like the details, but.
So that was that same Dr. Pinky that got mutated. And it was also a tie-in because in the Doom games, there is a monster called Pinkies. So it was like they were trying to tie it all together right there.
I see.
So he makes it through his first-person shooter fights, which, I mean, they were okay.
When he woke up, I was confused. I was like, is he having like a dream? Like I wasn't sure like what was going on there.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't bad by any means, but it was kind of like,
I am confused about how long he was out for and why his sister was in a different like location.
Yeah, I think he passed out. It wouldn't have been for long, but long enough to where she got in trouble and had to run.
Yeah.
And they just left him because they thought he was dead.
I thought that, they thought he was dead? Was there anyone
like
else?
Any monsters that would run into him would not. Okay. Yeah, they would not attack him because they figured he was dead. So, and then it ultimately comes back with him finding his sister again. She's injured. And then the Rock comes back. He's not dead. He confronts Reaper here, and he can see visibly on the Rock's shoulder that he has been bitten and is infected with this mutation as well. So they begin their very dramatic fight with what few bullets they have left. They basically expend them all. And now that they're both kind of superhuman people, they basically just duke it out fisticuffs and go a little wild. So The Rock's using all of his signature wrestling moves, throwing him around the ring and all this other stuff. And Reaper's doing his best. He's keeping up with him pretty well. And then Reaper gets to a point where he's able to hit the button for the portal and manipulate The Rock to be kind of hanging in it. And at this time, The Rock is actively, visibly mutating. His face is changing. He's starting to turn into a monster. And Reaper is able to send him through the portal, cut him off, and then he throws a grenade through the portal to destroy it. To destroy him, I guess, would be.
And the Ark, though, because that was a big grenade.
Yeah. So he destroyed the Ark. And so that was the part I was confused on. Were they still on Mars or were they on Earth when they were?
Yeah, I was also confused. And since I stopped and played it so many times, I wasn't sure if I missed something. Because
I'm pretty sure that they ended on Mars.
But they were talking about the elevator. And then if they were talking about the elevator, they would have been in the place that starts with an O. Because remember, his sister's on the ground and he's like, can you get to the elevator? But then I was like, why would they need to? They had already transported people to there. Mm-hmm. And so that's why The Rock was wanting to kill them all.
Yeah.
I remember they do go through the portal. He leaves 2 of them there and he's like, make sure no one goes through it. And then they go back through.
So, but I'm saying when Rock is dead and it's just Reaper and his sister. So they're
in Ovudal or whatever. They're not in Mars. I don't think.
Ovud.
Oh no, wait, but then they were because
the lab. That's what I think.
But there was no elevator in that place, right? The elevator was where they just went in originally, which would have been in Nevada. Then why was he asking if she could get to the elevator? Because and she starts to crawl.
Here we go. I've got it here. It's at the end of the synopsis. Reaper is able to gain the upper hand and throw Sarge through the Ark back to Mars along with a grenade, which destroys Sarge and the Mars facility.
Okay, so they did go.
Yeah, Reaper then carries his unconscious sister into the elevator and rides back up to ground level in Nevada.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because I remember them leaving through the portal back to where they came from and him being like, stay here and make sure essentially like no monsters come through. So he left like 2 of them there.
Mm-hmm. So that makes sense. So they're able to get out and they basically destroy the Mars facility. Any bad research, any human testing, anything else bad is gone now. So
he destroyed his childhood.
He destroyed his childhood, which probably isn't too much of a big deal for him.
Yeah. He was having like flashbacks and stuff.
Yeah. So that's the plot of the movie. I, unlike Kendra, did not really enjoy it.
Well, I don't know anything about Doom, so that might be why.
That was the other thing.
From like an outside perspective, I feel like the movie was pretty good. Like you could just watch it,
I suppose so.
There were some things where I was like a little confused or like, but I felt like for the most part, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think you needed to know a lot about the games to like watch the movie, like you said. But my thing is I think you could have made this movie and just not called it Doom. It doesn't need to be related because if you don't know much about Doom, the big thing about Doom is there is a portal and they do go to Mars. That is all in Doom. But the big thing is that scientists accidentally open a portal to hell in Doom. And so all the monsters that you're fighting are like demons and hellspawn things from hell. And in this, it was more like Resident Evil, where they were infected with like a virus and turned. It wasn't like any hell or anything like that tying it together, which is like the main thing of Doom. So that was kind of my sticking point was why not just make this movie and not tie it to Doom? You could have almost done all this on your own.
That's true.
Yeah. So overall, Doom received negative reviews from critics. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 18%. Not fantastic. And based on 137 reviews, it has an average rating of 4 out of 10. But I did recently look, and it has gone up to 5 out of 10. So they're slowly climbing. The site's consensus states The FPS sections are sure to please fans of the video game, but lacking in plot and originality to please other moviegoers. But that was such a small part of the movie that it was not much of an homage, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The other big thing about the Doom games is obviously the music. And they did a little bit of that in this, but it seemed like every time they did it, it was like very short.
Yeah, the beginning and the end. And I don't really remember much of the middle.
Yeah, the middle had very short bursts of like the metal music. And then they did do well in it. They at least put it in the first person part, which was good.
It was very video game like.
Yeah, I feel like they could have done a lot more music throughout and really just hammered it in the action parts, but they did what they did.
Mm-hmm.
On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average of 34 out of 100. Generally unfavorable reviews. And then, but interesting, audiences surveyed by CinemaScore, which I don't know that site, gave the film a grade B-, which is better than I thought they would give it.
All right.
Yeah. Some fun quotes. Roger Ebert said, "Doom is like some kid came over and is using your computer and won't let you play." So whatever that means.
I've quoted that guy before on this podcast.
Yeah, he's a major movie guy, so you gotta take him of it. But, and this was an interesting one. Rob Gonsalves gave it 2 stars, citing incoherent action sequences, flat and humorless characters, and poor acting. Quote, "Only Richard Brake as the sleazy and duplicitous grunt Portman gives a performance of any interest, and even that's on the level of caricature." So I guess the only part of the movie people enjoyed was Greasy Boy.
That's weird.
Yeah. Let's see what else here. So yeah, plot, character development, and dialogue are so sparse that screenwriters are fortunate they're not paid by the word. But this basic approach does not render it ineffectual. So overall, not great. It was theatrically released in the United States October 21st of 2005 to negative reviews, like I mentioned. It was quoted as a box office bomb, grossing $58.7 million worldwide against a production budget between 60 and 70 million. So they didn't even make their money back.
Jeez.
Yeah. And in 2019, apparently Universal released a second live action film direct to video titled Doom Annihilation.
I did see that keep coming up.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting. Maybe warrant a watch, but it has even worse reviews than this one. And then I thought it would be interesting to look at some of the other movies that came out that same year to compare.
Mm-hmm.
So Hellboy, have you seen the original Hellboy?
Mm-hmm. I feel like I've seen parts of it, but not really.
So that came out in 2004 and had a similar budget. It was 60 to 66 million. So like pretty much exactly what this one was. And it did so much better. I feel like the effects were better. I feel like everything was really better. The story, all that. And Hellboy made it to 100 million box office. So at least a success, almost doubled money. But that was my problem with this one too. Didn't you feel like the effects, like the doors busting open and stuff, were like not good?
Yeah, I guess I wasn't really thinking about it because I was always doing, like, I wasn't just like watching it. I was like always doing stuff, and I watched the whole thing on my phone. So I might just not have noticed some of the like.
Yeah, I feel like you're getting too used to watching bad movies too.
Well, I would rate this one like an 8.75 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10.
Are you serious?
But remember my scale. 8 out of 10 is good. Like, you need to watch it. Remember?
But you don't need to watch this. You
That's
really
true.
don't.
That's true. Maybe this one's a 7 out of a 10.
Oh my gosh, your scale.
Well, that's worse than the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Which Dungeons and Dragons was by far worse than this.
But you need to watch it.
Well, okay. Kendra's scale will never totally understand. If I had to give this a score, it'd be like a 3.5 out of 10.
Well, we rate things differently.
Apparently. So Kendra's scale is almost like out of a 5. So technically hers would be like a 2 out of 5.
Sure.
So Hellboy was a comparable movie. V for Vendetta, which I'm sure I've made you watch.
I don't think I've seen it.
Are you
Which
kidding?
is interesting because when I was at WSU, someone like hacked some of the computer systems and made that thing pop up.
Oh yeah, 5th of
But
November.
I'm pretty sure that I never watched it.
But that only had a budget of 50 to 54 million, and it made 133. So like you had all of these comparable budget movies. And then the other problem I think they ran into is there was actually some big hitting movies that came out in 2005. Star Wars Episode 3 came out. Obviously had a way bigger budget, but everything was way better about that movie than Doom. King Kong came out, the new one with like Jack Black in it. Came out
Jack
in 2005.
Black is in a King Kong movie?
Mm-hmm. And that was that one. It's 187 minutes. It's like notoriously long. But that came out in 2005 with like incredible special effects and obviously big budget. Some other things. I knew there was at least one more that came out. I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Serenity was a decent-ish movie. That was kind of like the Firefly adaptation.
Pretty sure and I feel like I would like that because I like Nathan Fillion and I've never watched Firefly, but I know I would like that.
Yeah.
I was just about to say the only one of these movies I think that I've seen is Star Wars, and I just watched it last year.
Yeah. So it had problems going against big movies with Doom's budget and like actors. I would think it would have been a better movie, and I think they just kind of ran into some rough stuff. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. So yeah, and most of the reviews that I've found there's no really fun ones to read. They're all just like 3 or 4 out of 10s on IMDb, just for, not similar to the game, blah, 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 blah. All that normal stuff. So what other specific things did you notice?
I mean, I feel like you're always crushing my hopes and dreams when I like something.
Well, okay. Well, no, devil's advocate. Tell me why you like it.
Well, I just felt like I could pay attention to it and it was like engaging. So like this compared to Dune, like I feel
the
like
original.
Yeah, like I feel like I was able to understand what was going on, and like even if some of the stuff wasn't good, the actors were good.
Well, so what did you think about the girl doctor?
Compare these actors to the actors in the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. There's no doubt these are better actors. I agree with you on that. But as far as performances, Rosamund Pike, did you think she was good at the girl doctor?
Well, I felt like it was hard for me to understand how she was supposed to be acting. Yeah, and I felt like some of her scenes were kind of weird. And I don't know if that's necessarily her fault or the way the part was written.
No, you might be right. There, like when Goat mutated and came back and was like bashing his head against the glass, like her facial expressions and her acting was like on, I don't know. It was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like so.
Or like overdone. When she's looking for the guy and he went to get her saw or whatever.
Yeah, it was like very dramatic.
But there was also a couple times where she was like giving Reaper weird looks, and I think it was because it was supposed to be some like almost her being like, oh, he's like good at this and he still has these skills that we learned growing up, but he's using them differently. Like when he's trying to help whichever one and he like asks for the adrenaline and then like shocks him. There's like a couple times where she like gives him a weird look, and I feel like those were like weird cues that we were supposed to like interpret, because I literally feel like it was her being like, oh, he's not like a bad guy or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a good knowledge base.
I think that her like role was just weird.
Yeah, and that could be. And then Richard Brake as Portman. I mean, I know he was supposed to be like over the top and ridiculous, but boy, came on a little strong for me, I must say.
Yeah, he was a little weird.
Yeah,
but I feel like the main actors were good.
Yeah, Karl Urban is undoubtedly he's good actor. The Rock, for his credit, is a good actor as well. A little dramatic sometimes, but I don't know overall. And I don't know if my sticking point is also me trying to tie this to actual Doom, which just doesn't really work. But like you said, maybe if you don't know anything about the video game series Doom or any of the lore, you would probably enjoy this movie a little more.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'll digress on that.
Snap.
Yeah. Any other specific things that you noticed that you wanted to talk about?
I felt like the scene in the spacecraft or aircraft was very dramatic when they were like grabbing their guns and then the computer system would like say their code name and like whatever. I was like, all right, we're going for it.
Yeah, they were really like, introducing them by code name when they grab their guns. And their guns are comically oversized, as you can kind of see in Kendra's background there. Mm-hmm. But
they're huge. They're like the death machine.
Yeah, I thought of another part. Do you remember so at one point the Rock goes into this room and he finds a big gun and it is, quote, the BFG, which is directly from Doom, which is
it was like biotech something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And dude, he was given that like sensual eyes. That was almost like when he was like looking at it and like slowly walking around it and just like taking it in. Mm-hmm. I was kind of giggling at that part. So that part was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I think he does play an elf because his name is Eomer and he's of the house of Eorel, the son of Eamund.
Yeah. He is an elf in general.
It's been so long since I watched this.
I know. I've seen The Hobbit or something more recently, but I haven't seen
I've seen the first Hobbit recently. I haven't seen the rest of the Hobbits.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I guess I can give you a brief quiz.
All right.
I don't think it's going to be that tough.
Okay, because I was paying attention to this one.
Good. So the first one might be tough just because.
Oh.
Well, you'll figure it out.
Okay.
Who was the film's director?
Oh, that's that Andrzej the weird last name.
I mean, you got the first name.
Kuwiak or something.
Bart Kowiak.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good job there.
Mm-hmm.
We learned what RRTS stands for.
Mm-hmm. Rapid Response Tactical Squad.
Good job.
Okay. Was that right?
It was right. Good job. Who was... Okay, I'm trying not to be too out of left field, but we had kind of the guy who cut himself for taking the Lord's name in vain, the religious guy. Good job. That was what I was going to ask. Yeah. Perfect. Code names.
Mm-hmm.
What was the movie's budget?
Oh, $50 million, I think. Is that right? 49.
It was 60 to 70 million.
Oh, but they made 40 to 50 million.
They did make 59. You got that part.
Okay.
Yeah. So close.
All right.
And then kind of keeping it simple.
All right.
What year did the movie come out?
2005.
There you go.
Look at that.
Not bad at all.
Oh, yeah.
So this movie did have the benefit of holding Kendra's engagement, which you don't get for every movie.
That's why I was trying to rate it a 9 out of 10.
It keeps going up.
Well, I said 8.75 or 9, and then I backed it down to 7 because you got mad at me.
Just your scale just it just boggles my mind a little bit, you know?
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess any other Doom related things or other topics to jump into? I feel like we're only just now hitting an hour, so I don't know if we're at time yet.
I don't know. I feel like the video game could be cool, but I don't know if it's my jam.
Yeah, video game, obviously, they did portray gore in this movie a lot, which is obviously a big Doom thing. It's all first person. In the newer ones, there's a whole bunch of like first person, like killing, ripping, demons in half and blood.
Mm-hmm.
So they did a decent amount of gore in this. So that part held up. The part that I couldn't get by was some of the blood was like so poorly CGI that it kind of distracted me. It looked like floating ketchup and stuff, but that's okay. Product of its time and budget, I guess. But so there's at least one thing that it did good with Doom, and then the BFG was a nice little callback, and then obviously the first person shooter scene. So, Oh, and I don't know if you made it to like the credits music, but that was, God, what the hell? I need to look that up. I think it's Marilyn Manson.
Oh, I paused it pretty much right away because I had more of the movie left than I thought.
Oh, I think it's a song by Tool. Wow, maybe it is. Huh? But it was like dropping the F-bomb like every line of the song.
Oh yeah, I definitely paused it as soon as the credits came on.
Oh, so this guy's saying it's 9 Inch Nails. It's a remix version of You Know What You Are.
Oh yeah, I just found that on IMDb.
But boy, they drop all the F-bombs in it. It was pretty impressive. And I only made it a few minutes into the credits, so it just stuck out to me pretty well.
Okay, I found a list of scenes that are in the alternate version.
Oh, okay.
So these are a list of scenes not in the original film. Portland. This is supposed to be Portman. Portman, yeah. It says Portland. Nice. Portman and the kid finding Dr. Tallman in a locker room. Sarge briefing the team on the helicopter. Kid shooting steaming pipes. What happens to Pinky's legs? So apparently they show that. It must be like a flashback.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
An extended version of the first-person shooter scene.
Oh,
Sam and Duke in the med lab. I don't know what that means. Why does it say Portland again? Portman reloading his gun in the restroom. Oh, yeah, he says he has to take a dump. In addition, the unrated version also contains 2 extra bonus features. A look at how the first-person shooter scene was created and some hints and tips for beginners on the Doom 3 game.
Oh. So I guess I didn't mention that, but this game was supposed to be the one that it was most loosely based off was Doom 3. So that makes sense.
Which came out the year before.
Yeah, so that makes sense why they would give tips and tricks for
the first Doom game came out in 1993.
You should go look up some original footage for that. It was on the computer and classic.
A rogue tough space marine is the only survivor in a hell-infested facility.
Mm-hmm.
It says that there's references to Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which is a 1977 movie. The movie Aliens, Predator, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Doom 3.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Apparently, Duke makes a reference to The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, it was pretty funny, that one scene with Portman in the toilet, though. And then he gets like mauled through the ceiling.
Yeah.
And they're like, they can access each of the Marines' cameras. So they're like scrolling through and they're like, Portman's just looking at a wall at the toilet. It's pretty funny. So random things like that. Okay. Anything else cool you're seeing?
No, not really.
Not really. What else we got to touch on for this episode?
I don't know. I mean, we're hoping that 2022 is better than 2020 and 2021.
I would agree.
I don't know. We're going to turn 32 and that's the opposite of 20. No, we're going to turn 31. Jesus Christ, I skipped a year. Never mind. Forget that. I was trying to make a connection where there wasn't one. But yeah. 2022 is going to be the year,
Make your resolutions.
Yeah.
My resolution would hopefully to be in the gym again, but I might need shoulder surgery, so maybe that won't happen.
Wait, you might need shoulder surgery? You don't tell me anything. Yeah. Jesus. I thought we were friends.
Well, I only just found out.
Oh, did you get it go to the doctor?
I went and did an MRI of that because I heard it a long time ago. And
I probably need to get mine checked again, but I don't want to. So.
And apparently, I have a labrum tear.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yep. So I actually have a consult this next week here.
I feel like my knee is going to keep getting worse, and that probably means I shouldn't get a stick shift if I get another vehicle.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That would be kind of tough. I don't know if I'm in a sling. I don't know how I'm going to drive mine.
That's true. You can trade me cars.
There we go.
I'll be cool for a couple weeks. Yeah. I mean, your car gets better gas mileage than my truck.
No, I'm saying I would get all the gas.
But you don't have to drive that far, so.
That is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess on a happy note, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Make your resolutions.
I made this in PowerPoint and exported it as a JPEG so that I wasn't copywriting anyone's image, even though I just had a bunch of images from the movie.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't worry about that.
It's fine.
But yeah, hopefully everyone has a great New Year. Have a safe New Year's Eve. Call your Ubers and all that. Don't be an asshole and drive drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's all I got. If you got the normal plug. Oh, final plug, Merle. Again, thank you for the movie recommendation.
Yeah, but next time, email us. Come on. Even Jackie sent us an email.
That's true. She sent us her presentation during it.
Yeah.
Through the email.
I like how she asked what the email was, and I worded it exactly like how I say it. And Keaton was like, you don't have to say it that fast every time you say it. And I was like, I wasn't saying it fast.
You're just like conditioned. That's like in it. But she's like Merly Bird on TikTok. I at least know that. I don't know any of her other stuff, but thank you.
Yeah. We appreciate it. Well,
exactly.
Also, you can follow my dice shop at Broken Bow Dice Shop. Hopefully, I'm using the second week of winter break to make some dice since I haven't made any in a while. And you can check out my website, brokenbowdiceshop.com. Right now, I've got 5 things in stock, and they're all 40% off because it's the rest of my fall themed set. So if there's any, this is I haven't been posting that much, so I can't imagine anyone's going to buy those in the next week and a half. So there's 5 sets. I think the most expensive one is like $60 because they're 40% off. So you can check that out. Get them
while you can.
Yeah. Anyways, you can also send us an email if you like what you heard here and you want to give us some tips or some topic suggestions, marketing advice. I definitely didn't do this like this in the last episode because I was kind of thrown off that Jackie was here. But you can send us an email to 5FIVE moreminutespod@gmail.com. If you think Scott and I should get matching tattoos, write us in with an idea. Scott doesn't have any tattoos. But if it's something cheap, I will pay for it,
Wow.
Yeah, we could get like our logo or like some keyblades, because I might do Kingdom Hearts when it's my turn again, because that was the only other thing I could think of that wasn't Call of Duty or D&D. Or if I start playing a new video game, maybe I'll do like a review, because I might buy a video game after I get paid and play that the second week of break. So
yeah, you should try to get one that I haven't played.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know what that is. So you might have to make a list of games you think I would like that you haven't played.
I'll talk with Keaton because he is like tallying like up a list of PS5 games.
Nice. Anyway, so that's what our email address is for. If you want to be our no pay marketer or something, we'd love to add you to the team, with
send you a 6-pack.
We'll buy you some beer and some coffee.
Yep.
You can follow us on our socials at 5 MMPOD on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, which I haven't been posting on that much, and Twitter, where Scott posts sometimes.
Getting better. Like
you can tweet about us using the hashtag 5MMPOD, or Scott doesn't use hashtags, but when I post on anything, I use that hashtag. So you can find our post by just searching 5MMPOD on most apps.
Right.
Yeah. And sometimes I retweet or quote the tweets just so that they're getting visibility. But no one really follows me on Twitter because none of my friends use Twitter. And so I don't think anyone sees those, but that's okay. And you can download our episodes, like and subscribe. You can watch a YouTube video so you can see my awesome green screen jobs, especially now that I've got it hung up in the new place.
Oh, yeah.
In the Kendrio. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a way. I'm workshopping that. Said if you want to try to incorporate my name with the word studio and you have a good idea, send Studio that in an email to 5FIVE moreminutespod@gmail.com.
There you go.
Anyways, share us with your friends and family, your friends who are your family, and your family who's more like friends and family. And this shows you how messed up I was last time we recorded, because I couldn't do that in either episode. Maybe your New Year's resolution is to share our podcast with more people.
Nice.
And if it is, write us in and we'll give you a shout out. Maybe we'll find something, we'll give you a virtual high five or something.
Incentive.
We'll poke you on Facebook.
Yeah. Remember when that was a thing?
Yeah. We'll bring it back. That's what we do here. We take outdated things. We bring them back.
Make it cool again.
Yeah. Can you still poke people?
I don't know, honestly. I don't think so.
I'm going to go to your Facebook and see if I can poke you.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I like your enthusiasm. Audio call, video call, see friendship, find support, block. Oh, I just want to poke him. Come on now.
I feel like they probably got rid of
that. Remember when it used to be cool to like do those Facebook blog things? I don't even think you can do those anymore. The notes or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Can you still?
Times is changing.
Anyways, I'm really good at getting off topic and dragging out the
right at the end.
The end. Anyways, we should wrap this up before the people forget where to find us.
That's a good idea.
Someone leave us a rating, please. We don't have any. And let us know, what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah.
Give us some feedback, We're all about that.
Give us some feedback, and until the next time, we're clocking out.
Bye.
Bye.